Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In this episode, we're going to take a look at a piece by the AI generative artist Oleg Z. And look at I don't want to mess up the name, so just check out the description or the title of this work if you guys want to check out the original artist. And in this episode, we're going to talk about this sense of implied motion. We're going to talk about this grand sense of scale. And then we're also going to talk about the reminder of Mother Nature's resounding wrath. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this piece, you're likely going to be met with this flood of incredible color here. Of course, we see a very diverse color composition. So we see the reds, we have blues, we have oranges here. And whenever you first see this piece, you're likely going to be caught by just this incredible flood. You know, it just meets you and it immerses you straight into it instantly. And so you see these constant curves within the work at hand. And what we can imply from that, of course, we know that curves always give a sense of implied motion. And so whenever we look at this piece, of course, there's this inescapable sense of motion that just reaches from end to end of this dynamic digital canvas. And of course, it puts you straight in motion and it feels like you're right amidst the chaos and the action here. And so with that in mind, of course, you see an incredible sense of energy within the work at hand. This really invigorates the visual experience. Of course, we're looking at what appears to be a massive tsunami here. So of course, that sense of energy is just inherent. It's even kind of primal and even archaic, as we know just how dangerous floods, tsunamis, and just general Mother Nature can be. So that sense of energy within the work, it's inescapable, and it just hits you like a tsunami, you know, instantly, and it just brings you directly into it. And so we see this grand sense of scale within the work at hand, and it's quite interesting because you're set against the grand sense of Mother Nature here, and that is both divine and the darkly divine as well. And so the same force, of course, water that gives us life, gives us agriculture, gives us small canals, it also floods and it also destroys as well. So there's that sense of duality within the work at hand, and that grand sense of scale really reminds us of that duality of Mother Nature. And so we see in this work, of course, an incredible flow here. And like I said, we have those constant curves. You have that sense of energy. So with that in mind, of course, it's going to come with that flow and that sense of that flowing aesthetic here. And so those curved lines or those curved markings really flow into one another there. And the aesthetic here, it feels very reminiscent of, say, Far Eastern ink brush paintings. And those were sort of watercolor, and so the layering within this work is just incredibly dynamic. And so this piece was generated by AI, so it is an AI generative piece. So with that in mind, of course, it's not like a human is creating all these brushstrokes, but it definitely does mimic that fluid sense of those vivid visual brushstrokes, as well as that kind of Far Eastern ink brush aesthetic there, and it does that with absolute ease. And so of course, like we said, we're looking at a tsunami here, and you see what appears to be a town there. Doesn't want to draw. Oh well. So this is quite interesting. Of course, we see, if this is a town, that we're looking at a scene of complete and absolute destruction here. And so there's that inescapable kind of doom within the work. But it's interesting because even though it is a very destructive piece, if this is a city, of course, but it's also very vibrant, and it almost feels kind of energetic or happy in a way. So there's this really unique juxtaposition going on. Definitely the contrast of Mother Nature, and it's just it's inescapable. Of course, you see this easily within the work, just from everything from this constant sense of motion to that kind of resounding reminder of Mother Nature. And so, like I said, this was created with AI generative art. So this is an AI generative piece, and I believe it was created in Disco Diffusion. Disco Diffusion, of course, is one of the more powerful ones, and it is not as easy to run, but it is a very rewarding one as well. Of course, compared to Midjourney, I would say that Disco Diffusion is less accurate, but a lot of people like this kind of stylistic flow that AI art creates. And what I mean by that is it just flows into one another here, like with absolute ease. And some people prefer that over, say, the much more high resolution, much more accurate depictions of DALL-E 2. So there's a lot of people that like those two different aesthetics there, and that's really important to note. And we're really looking at the dawn of a new age that are powered by the prompt masters, where the only kind of ceiling entry within the space is your competency in writing and kind of vocabulary retention. So, if there's something that you really want to see within the work, then you better hope that you have the vocabulary to bring that out, or else it's going to be hard to articulate exactly what you want to see from the AI generative piece. So really interesting work, very, very fluid. I thought this was just a captivating, very energetic, and a very priceless reminder of Mother Nature's resounding wrath here. And so, like I said, there's that unique juxtaposition or contrast of the light and the dark. Of course, a very vibrant, very colorful piece, but it does appear to be showing a scene of destruction with the city there in the bottom. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, coming from the artist Oleg, I believe it's Abramov, or not. Coming from the artist Oleg Z, it's like Zavorotnyi. I don't wanna butcher it, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.